Today is day 3 of the main event. I'm super excited. Uh, Super happy to be here. Just surprised, I guess. Not shocked. I've been playing poker for a long time. Been playing tournaments for a long time. 2 days ago, Thursday, was day 2 for me and went very well. Once again, I was handed a gift from the poker gods. Over 100,000 in chips fell into my lap. I'm happy to say that once I got those 100,000 in chips, I did put them to work and got another 70,000 on top because I was at a table full of recreationals. It was not my first table of the day. The second table of the day, there was a lunatic a couple seats to my left, and he eventually busted out. Once he did, those chips fell into my lap. I had aces. Another guy had kings. I opened for 3,200, blinds were at 800 and 1,600, and he carved out an absurd 3-bet of 30K. Really, it should have been about 15K at the most. And that left me with no choice but to shove all my chips in. I had him covered. He had over 100,000. I had 150,000. And he took not very long at all and called, and he had kings. One thing about aces versus kings, aces are a big favorite, 4-1. But what does 4-1 mean? 4-1 means 1 out of every 5 times you're going to lose. So I was happy that my aces held again. So it was just a giant Christmas gift for me. And like I said, I did put those chips to work. It was easy to do with a big stack. And even though it was a bunch of capable amateurs, they were all amateurs. And I'm no doubt some of them, if they had a big stack, could be a better player than I. There's really no soft spots, traditional soft spots that we think of at the table. Everybody knows how to play. I mean, they're all playing in the main event. But there's not much they can do when somebody has a big chip lead and is just squeezing their stacks. I've got 170,000 to start with, and they've got, I think that's right. No, I've got 270,000. And they've got, 100,000, or maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I can squeeze with nothing, which is what I did a few times. And it's just, there's nothing they can do about it. If I had a feeling, if I was ahead of their range, that's when I got going. And I'm happy to say that it worked. I didn't lose a pot. I did not lose a single pot, other than occasionally I would open with my min raise, get flatted, completely whiff the flop and be out of position. I would check fold a couple times, but I'm losing the absolute minimum, losing 1 big or 2 big blinds. But anything where it was multi-street, I guarantee you I was in position and I was taking it down. That's kind of the plan today. My table draw is not the easiest. I've got one guy who final tabled the monster stack, kind of across from me, and he's going to be full of confidence. He's a semi-pro, probably fancies himself a professional. Then I have an actual pro 2 seats to my left, unfortunately, Anthony Zinno. He is the record holder for WPT main event championships. I think he has 4. So he's a world-class tournament player. What are you going to do? The good news is that I have a lot more chips than he does. I have a lot more chips than everybody at the table except one guy, and he's nobody. He's, all of these guys have better Hendon Mob pages than me, but that page is very misleading. I don't play in card rooms that much. I play a lot at the Moose Lodge. I play a lot in my garage. So, I don't really have time to drive 45 minutes to Commerce more than once a month, maybe twice a month if I'm, not doing anything better. So I don't really have, and in those tournaments I've done very well. My ROI is over 25%. These guys have, $100,000 or $200,000 in winning on the Hendon Mob page. I have over $50,000 in winnings since 2012, and that's barely playing in card rooms. So I have to understand that, winnings doesn't mean much. In terms of profit, I'm almost 20,000 in profit. So Hendon Mob page doesn't show profit. So I have to remind myself that just because some guy has some six-figure score on his Hendon Mob page, then you look at what his biggest cash was, and it's, it was $23,000 was his biggest cash. He's been playing for 15 years. And I wonder what his actual profit is. It's probably not $230,000. Probably less than half that. Anyway, today's goal is, my stated intention is to bag over 500,000 in chips. But my number one priority is to make the first break. That's kind of how I always approach it, and I go from there. Then very likely my next goal will be to make the next break. Today is all about survival. Cashing is very important to me. I will acknowledge that. I will admit that. It is not the end-all, be-all. It is not the most important thing to me. $15,000 is the minimum cash. A chunk of that's going to the IRS. Another chunk's going to my friends, who I love dearly. And then I get, at the end of the day, $6,000 or $7,000 out of that. That'd be nice for the poker bankroll, but it's not. The money is pretty much meaningless. What's more meaningful is the cash in the main event, because I don't know how many more of these I'm going to be able to play in my lifetime. Hopefully one more, but I don't anticipate any more than that. So that's why it's important. But it is not the end-all, be-all. I've had 2 amazing days, and I have a big stack on day 3. That's really cool. I'm not going to tell my opponents that. I talk too much at the table. I'm just going to act like I've been here before, because, I have the last 2 days. I've had plenty of high-pressure situations, big pots and all that. Plan today is to small ball it best I can. I realize that over 20 hours of poker that I've played in this tournament, all of my chips have been at risk one time. And it was early on day 1 when I had aces and the other guy had kings. Since then, I've never had all my chips in the middle. I don't intend to do that today. Certainly, if the opportunity arises, if I've got aces and the other guy's got kings, something really obvious like that, or if I flop a monster, I could get all my chips in, and that's no limit hold'em. That's the way it goes. Can't sweat that. But, the approach is small ball, and depending on the tenor of the table and how active everybody is, if everybody's really active, which I expect they will be, looking to chip up, then I'm going to have to tighten up and pick my spots best I can. But, we should make the money at the end of the day, or this is a pretty big-ass field. I'm going to actually assume that we're making the money tomorrow. So I'm not going to even think about that. The goal is to make the first break. That's the goal. And I know no matter what, it'll be a great day, because, as I said, poker is pain. It's part of the package. It's part of the design. It's a big part of the reason why I love this game so much, is the anguish that comes with the ecstasy. If there was no anguish, there would be no ecstasy. And might be some ecstasy, but it wouldn't be as potent. It would not be nearly as powerful. Just as in life, we are mortal. That's what gives life beauty and intensity. In tournament poker, we die. And that's what gives it beauty and intensity. Anyway, I will check in again, hopefully for day 4. But if not, I'll check in anyway. This has been a tremendous journey. It's going to be a tremendous journey today.